Greetings, Good Life Nation, and welcome to our weekly President's Call. This is Matt Landau, your president, here with Joey Seyforth, our operations manager. Excited to share a lot of great news and information with you. Well, I am back from Cartagena, Colombia, where we went and celebrated Mark's renewal of his vows with his lovely wife, Elisa. It was an amazing weekend and a beautiful time had by all, and so congratulations again to you, Mark. It was a beautiful time. But we are here tonight to get into some very important updates and some amazing announcements for you this week. So as usual, I just want to jump right in and talk about where we are with things. It has been another huge week for us. This past week we had just over 600 new enrollments, and in fact Thursday was about our biggest day ever. It was amazing.
Big day. It was a good day.
And so it was due in part to the rollout of the digital cards. So that has been a really cool aspect that we were excited to talk about and to share with you. I want to talk to you about that a little bit more. By now you should have those 10 cards in place. Hopefully that everybody has had a chance to go in your dashboard to see the activation codes, get a look at it, kind of start to get used to it and comfortable with it. You know, of course, those are great for sharing digitally, whether it's by email, text, through your social media, and of course you can print them out as well. So that was really, I think, what spurred the biggest day. It was the biggest day we've ever had, the biggest single day. So it's exciting to see that kind of growth and to be able to give you guys these tools and to see you respond positively to it. So this is just the beginning, gang. We're really having some great movement and great traction that we're getting, which we're going to be sharing with you tonight. Alongside with our little thank you gift, our little 10 thank yous, something Joey was working very hard on was the digital kit itself, the IBO kit. And I was actually surprised. I thought that it was going to take a little bit longer, but
yeah, we rolled out pretty quick.
Yeah,
not too bad.
Turned out he had it, and I said, when are we going to get those in? And he looked at me and he said, they're in. It's already going. So really, really great to see that. And actually, a number of people that enrolled took advantage of that, the cards, that option, of course, the 60 activation codes, and the same materials that you get in the physical kit, the digital format version of the welcome letter and the explainer, some of the explainer materials. So we're happy to be able to get that out to you and have you take advantage of that. And remember, use that as along with the physical cards, because it's the physical cards that are really the backbone of the VIP program. And so this, again, like we talked about last week, this is just another great tool to be able to give you, to go out there, wonderful product, get out there and share it with people, let them enjoy a taste of the good life, and then of course it creates so many wonderful ways to grow and expand your business. But we're not saying, the digital is the replacement. We're saying the plastic cards are really an important part of what we do here, to be able to hand it out, to touch it, and have this quality card that we've talked about. Again, the digital is just another quiver for you to put out there. So talking about the physical cards, the orders are moving along. I want to have Joey talk about where we are with the fulfillment side and the actual card orders. So go ahead, Joe.
Definitely. So as I talked to our fulfillment center yesterday, the exact words were, "We are cranking." So they have the process streamlined, and it's just a matter of getting the orders out now. So what I've been told, looks like at the end of this week, we're going to be pretty much caught up. We were about 1,300 orders behind. About 1,000 of those are going to get caught up this week. About 300 of those were some bad addresses. So, things like just us not verifying that address on the front end during the enrollment process kind of is holding us back a little bit. We fixed that, so everything that comes through now will be a good address or just user error.
And that's a great example of the things that we're doing to streamline the process.
Exactly.
You wouldn't think a bad address would really throw a wrench into the system, but it does.
Yep.
If the address comes in and it's wrong, we have to stop what we're doing, we have to backtrack, and we have to do an investigation. And we had about 300 plus of those bad addresses, and that's been eliminated in part to what Joey's been able to implement from the operational side, which is programming to verify the addresses.
Right.
So
we're working on it, guys. Obviously getting your cards is the main thing, but it's getting you that product, which ultimately, fuels your business. So But let's not look too far past, what we had in mind here in the beginning. I'm excited about the progress, operationally speaking. It's great to see the day-to-day stuff going really well. But like I said, let's not lose sight of what Mark originally had in mind, which is, the opportunity, the business model, which is, the best thing you can be doing right now is not stopping, not waiting for things to be perfect. Don't wait until everything's put together and, you've missed the boat. Just keep doing what you're doing. We're making sure we provide those tools to make sure that we help you guys grow your business in the end. And that's really, what my job is. And, I want to make sure you guys have everything you need. So in the end, it's streamlined, it's smooth.
And that's an important point. I mean, what Mark Seyforth created is, aside from the amazing product that we know Good Life to be, but the ability to grow and build your organization, to be able to be an IBO, to be able to go out and share it, take advantage of these incredible compensation aspects, so many different ways of generating income through the Good Life. Not just the bonuses on the card, which are wonderful, but it's really the long-term residual that comes when you grow your organization the right way. So, I mean, Joey brings up a really good point. Let's not lose sight. Let's not say, I didn't get my order, and so I'm going to sit back and wait. No, every day we should be building our businesses in the best way possible. And we try to give you all of the tools, and we're excited to be able to give you the physical cards, the digital cards, and there's so much more that we're going to be continuing to roll out and deliver for you. But don't sit back. Don't wait and say, I'm gonna wait until I get here. Or maybe you do, but guess what? You're gonna suffer because you're not gonna grow your organization. We've already seen leaders who've sat back and they say, well, I'm gonna bring this person or that person. Well, guess what? We've seen those people come in other ways. And so they go, I guess I learned that lesson the hard way. So remember, it's choosing the good life, as Mark always says. It's really growing and working towards your business. No fortune or no great business was ever built by sitting back. It's that commitment every day to growing and building. And that's, those are the words that we want to focus on, growing and building. And speaking of growing and building, let's talk about our international expansion, what we're doing here to grow and build our Good Life Global Nation. We're going to start rolling out that term, Good Life Global.
Sounds good.
You're going to hear that a lot more and see that. And, it really is indicative of where we're going. Good Life USA is what that's where we are. But Good Life Global is the concept. That's where we're going with all this stuff. So, of course, Canada, we've talked about that, and I wanted to touch on that. We're actually just about incorporated right now. We're going to be incorporated in, did I tell you where we're going to be incorporated? Which province?
No, which
See
one?
What I'm going to give you a geography test here?
Go, I'm learning here.
No, I will put you on the spot. We are going to be incorporated in the province of Alberta, in the town of Red Deer. So Red Deer, Alberta, we'll give you a shout out right there. And we've got all of the paperwork and everything necessary in and processed. We are now waiting on the Canadian government to send us that paperwork and make it official. And of course, once we get that, we're going to have all of our pieces in place. We've already done the programming. We've rolled out. Part of why we wanted to move along the digital card solution was we wanted to have that as an option for our northern friends when we get opened. So that's moving along, and we are just chipping ever so close every day, getting very, very close. As always, as I say, we got to do it right. So I want to make sure that we've got that coming along. So that's very exciting stuff. Another part of our international expansion is our pre-registration site, which we're about to roll out. So tell them a little bit about that.
Right. Yeah, and this is part of what's going to help us with that international expansion. We will be rolling out this week our pre-registration site, which basically means that when we go to open up a new country, whether it be Canada, Mexico, South America, if it's the Bahamas, Asia, wherever it's at, we're going to open up this pre-reg site where you can go in and select your country, and in the end, the whole idea of it is to gauge interest in these other countries, to see what we have interest-wise in these countries that we're going to be going into. And you might have seen it from our webinars or events we've had, but when we do get a certain amount, that's going to tell us, all right, the interest is built here. Let's go ahead and open up that country. So if you have people in these countries, I know people have been coming into support telling us, hey, I've got this country, I've got that country. This pre-reg site is going to be the way to do it. Yeah. So that's where you want to send them. You're going to want to send them there. They'll select their country. They're going to be able to put their information in. And it's kind of like a waiting list until we actually get everything up and going.
And it's cool because Joey's right. It's going to give us a gauge on who's serious. We've had a lot of people say, "Oh, you should go here, you should go there," and we intend to go everywhere. But we want to make sure that we're prioritizing. And how are we going to prioritize? Well, those that say they have 20 or 30,000 in a country will show us. And when we see that, we're not going to wait till that high a number. I'm not saying that, but we want to be able to gauge real excitement. And what's great about that is as you go and discuss it with your friends and contacts that you have in those countries, they may not know much about us. This is something they can go to. It can show them that we're real. It can be a nice introduction, and it shows them that we are genuinely prepared to do this. So it's an exciting tool, and we saw it. I think we're putting the finishing touches on it, right?
We should be able to roll it out this week, and of course, we will notify the field as soon as it is live.
Yeah, and it's nothing too mind blowing, but it's cool. It's a nice little taste of Good Life. So it actually shows them a little bit about what it's about, but it allows us to capture that data. And it's really important that we get that. So that's exciting stuff, guys. Every day things are just moving along, and I'd love to be able to come here every week and share new things with you when they're ready, of course. I do want to, these are the things we're working on. I want to touch on a couple of things that are coming along that maybe we don't have. They're a little further down the road. We're putting them together, but I'm not going to sit here and give you firm dates on any of these things. But there are a couple of really awesome things that are moving along. We had talked about a few weeks ago putting together and rolling out our first Good Life Leader IBO retreat that we're going to be having. We're actually going to be having a number of them. So we're going to be doing a few of them, but this is going to be the first one, and it's going to be an exciting time for us to get out and really be in another place. I can tell you, being with the Good Life family at Mark's wedding over the weekend was just great to get out to another place and share really, really special times and make those great memories that we always talk about. And it's funny because you go away and go, I don't want to talk about it, but all you do is talk about Good Life, and it's because you want to and you're passionate and excited. So that's what these trips are going to be. They're going to be an opportunity. There'll be workshops, there'll be events, and then there'll be fun. There'll be lots and lots of fun. So we're excited about that. But one of the things we're going to be doing that we talked about in the past is putting together a pre-registration site of sorts. Again, essentially, we want to get the dates and the locations out there, have this site up there so we can really get a gauge of who is going to come, how many people are going to come. Again, everybody probably wants to go, but the reality is not everybody will be able to go. So we were going to, again, same concept as the international pre-reg site. This is going to be another site where you're going to be able to log on, you're going to be able to capture that information, and we're going to be able to plan accordingly from there. So it's going to be very cool, and we're working on some destinations, but we're not going to tell you now.
Not just yet.
Yeah. Something else that's really cool that we're working on is the pay card that we talked about that is coming together. It is getting very, very close. Now, you heard me say Good Life Global earlier. Well, we are going to be calling this card the Good Life Global Bank Card. And it's really exciting because this is going to open the doors for so many things and so much growth for us. It is, it's technically a payout solution, but it's so much more. It's a vehicle for quick and cheap and efficient payments for you. We can deliver that. It's going to allow you some flexibility in moving those funds around and doing things that you couldn't otherwise necessarily do. It functions as a Visa card, so you can use it wherever you can use a Visa. And there's some really other kind of great Good Life centered aspects that we're working on, ways of really featuring the card. So we're excited. I'm working to develop that and get us to the point where we're going to roll that out internationally and domestically. Internationally, it's got a very important purpose because it allows us to expand into these countries without some of the other kind of banking compliance and type issues that you come across if you didn't have a card like this. But domestically, it's something that makes a lot of sense for what we're doing here too. We're also doing some, we're doing some additions to the website and some changes. Joey, why don't you tell them a little bit about what some of these changes we got going on?
Which changes were we talking about?
That were, my bad. The additions that we put into the site, some of the content inconsistencies and things like that.
Right.
We've been making sure that we're shoring up on.
Yeah, so definitely had some content out there that wasn't didn't have a lot of continuity throughout the whole website. You know, you're seeing one thing here, it says one thing, you talk to a leader over here, he tells you another thing. So we wanted to make sure everything was the same, whether you hear it from your upline or you read it online or you watch a YouTube video. We want to make sure all that content that comes from corporate has our stamp of approval on it and is exactly what we mean to disseminate out to the field, obviously. We've cleaned a lot of that up, and that's a daily thing. We definitely want to clean that up all the time, and we're getting feedback constantly from members, this isn't explained well here. Can you give me more of an example? Things like that. We're going to be cleaning up our FAQs and our knowledge base for support as well. So, you guys might not even have to call in. You're going to find your answers so quickly just by going to that knowledge base.
And that's a goal. We absolutely are trying to do that for sure.
And of course, content-wise, we're going to be moving into other countries, but also domestically here. And being in, South Florida here, we have a large, Hispanic, culture here too, so we want to make sure we have everything bilingual eventually here one day too, and that goes hand in hand with the content.
And not just bilingual. We're gonna, every language in which
right.
a good lifer may potentially want to know about us. We're going to be available in all of those languages, and it's important because to keep it in perspective. And we always talk about our growth and all of that. Things have changed from where we started out. Even like the benefits on the different levels, we've moved those around a little bit just to kind of settle in. And I think it's safe to say that the fundamental stuff is settled in. But as we begin to build more content for the legacy tree and for the other things that we've implemented that weren't there, we're paying attention to the other aspects and gaps and inconsistencies in the site. So it's exciting to be able to be that much tighter and to be able to know that we have have our site doing what it needs to do. I mentioned the address verification is something that we've implemented to make sure that when you put it in, the address makes sure that it's verified. And it's amazing how many problems that avoids and how much more streamlined that process is. You want to make sure that someone comes on, they're coming on the right way, and we're doing all the things that need to be done to give them the right experience from start to finish. Absolutely. So that's some cool stuff that we have going on. Of course, we've got our Good Life calendar of events. So it's amazing what we got going on. I almost, it's like, wow. I looked at the calendar. I said, you got to be kidding me. We are covering some ground here, guys, and it's coming really, really soon. So get out your pens if you want, but we will be posting all of this as well. Here's what I have that I know of right now that's coming your way in the very, very short future. I'd mentioned Daytona. We're taking the Good Life bus. And it's great wherever you take that bus and you park it, heads turn, curiosity is naturally generated. People come up, it's like a magnet. I've seen it a few times now. So we're going to be bringing that bus up to Daytona for Bike Week. And I think we're going to be in a couple of different locations. March 6th through the 9th, we're going to be in one spot. And then March 9th through the 11th, we're going to be in another spot. But if you're going to be up in Bike Week or anybody up in that area, you're going to see us up there, and it's going to be very cool. The following week on March 25th, we're going to be going back down to Miami and doing another, I think it's an IBO sponsored event again. It's going to be a Spanish event again, which was incredibly successful, and there's a lot of really positive feedback on that. So we want to continue to develop that material for you. So we're going to be in Miami on the 25th, and then we're starting our East Coast ascent, where we're going to be taking the bus and we're going to be doing events pretty much all the way as we go up. We're going to go back to Atlanta on the 8th of April, and that's going to be always an exciting event. It's going to be a great event. From there, we're going to go and make a brief stop in Florence, South Carolina. Now, this is one of those events where we said, if you tell us that there's interest and you can promise that there'll be a lot of people there, a couple hundred, and we're going to come. And that's part of our commitment. We're going to bring the bus up there and swing by and hopefully have a great event and go somewhere that's a little off the grid, but I think somewhere that's going to be well received. From there, we're going to be in Washington, D.C. on the 19th. And then, when are we going to Boston? We have Boston.
We actually have, I believe Washington's going to be we say the 19th, and we have Boston, which is actually going to be the 13th on there. And then I think New York is what?
Then that's going to be the following month. That's going to be May the 11th. So we got Atlanta, Florence, Boston, Washington, and New York.
Right. And just a correction too, Miami is actually going to be March 18th.
Oh, was it
on that one, the 18th. Yep.
All right. See, there we go. That's why we're here together.
We'll have it all up on the site for you guys to look at as well.
Perfect. See, we're going so many places I can barely keep
There's
up.
There's a lot in Clear.
Absolutely. And we've heard I've heard a lot of West Coast requests. So, there's a lot of other locations that there's genuine excitement, and we're going to do our best to get out to all of these spots and get out there and share the good life with everybody. So with that, guys, again, hope you're having a great week. We appreciate all your hard work and everything that we're doing together. Every week, it feels like it's bigger and bigger, and it is just an amazing ride that we're all taking here together. So, guys, I hope you have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.
See you all.